Well, thank you very much, and we certainly appreciate your testimony and we appreciate your service. Let's talk about national security cutters first, Admiral. A 2014 Inspector General report found that the declining readiness of the Coast Guard's high-endurance cutters continues to pose significant challenges to mission performance. During his State of the Coast Guard address last year, Admiral Zunkoff stated that there were 580 events, drug or migrant movements last year that we were aware of but could not target. This is an issue of capacity, according to Admiral Zunkoff. There are 7 national security cutters in operation today. I understand that the national security cutters already in service have yielded record results in drug interdiction numbers. What capabilities does the national security cutter bring to the mission that other assets are not able to meet? And understanding that there are other legacy assets that need to be modernized as well, what effects would additional national security cutters have on your ability to combat drug and migrant smuggling threats?
Mr. Chairman, thank you for the question. The national security cutters built at Huntington Shipyard are truly proving to be incredibly capable assets. They are contributors and end users of national security, national intelligence. They have had record successes on the front lines of the campaign of drugs, illicit drug transshipments out of the Indian Ridge into Central America. The national security cutter James, home port of our Charleston, South Carolina, showed its flexibility and adaptability during this past fall's hurricane seasons. First, in the Eastern Pacific, when we pulled back a large number, almost just about all the ships that were doing counter-drug patrols to support the nation's hurricane responses, the James remained in the Eastern Pacific and essentially took over the role of Joint Interagency Task Force South. Obviously not at the same level of fidelity that JIATF South could do, but they were able to manage the counter-drug mission from the sophisticated capabilities that the James, a national security cutter, brings to the table. Furthermore, the James came through the Panama Canal and we sent her into Puerto Rico following the passage of Maria. And the sector command there, that's our command and control node in San Juan, essentially suffered catastrophic damages that took all the capabilities down to zero. National security cutter sailed into the harbor, sat on the anchor in San Juan Harbor, and essentially took over the command and control capabilities and allowed us to respond to the needs of the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, sir.
I assume you subscribe to the statement of the Inspector General about the declining readiness of the Coast Guard's high-endurance cutters continuing to pose significant challenges.
Senator, the HECs, the high-endurance cutters, and we have just a couple left, they were declining in readiness. Those ships were built in the 60s, early 70s. The national security cutters are a fantastic replacement for that. We appreciate the support of the Congress and the 2018 omnibus that provided funding for the 10th and an 11th national security cutter, sir, and we look forward to welcoming those ships to the fleet.
Thank you for pointing that out. It must be frustrating, Admiral, for the Coast Guard to be aware of as many as 580 events going on out there that you're simply not able to respond to.
Well, Senator, down in the Joint Interagency Task Force Joint Operating Area, on average, we have awareness of about 3/4 of the drug events that transpire on a day-to-day basis. We have the capacity to target about 1/3 of those, 25 to 33% of those. Of those cases that we have the resources to go after, we have a very high success rate, somewhere north of 80%. Is it frustrating? It's a choice. The capacity is always a choice of the nation, sir. With more capacity, we're able to take a bigger bite out of that threat. But our men and women are fully engaged, sir, and welcome the challenge of that mission. I think we've proven our success on that front.
You know, I'm going to take a second round since I have to preside, and I'm going to yield back my time right now and let other members ask questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Chairman.
Senator Nelson.